Welcome, I believe we're live. Cool. My name is Mitch, and today I'm going to teach you how to draw a realistic pet in just a couple of hours. So today is the first day, and which means we're going to be doing some base coats. So base coats involves these, which is, let's see, trying to get everything organized on the Facebook. Okay, so these, which we have a pink, if you look at it, the cat, is sort of the middle lower section, you have like a pink hue. So we have like a really light pink, and this is Mount Vision 323. So 323 is going to give us like a light pink hue, and the rest of it is going to be warm white, cold white, every sort of white. We're going to be doing with that. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So let me get organized here. This is never easy on the computer. So much easier on the phone. On the phone, you just like go. You click a button and you just go. Okay, cool. I think I'm set up. All right. So let's start out with getting some base coats. And base coats is where you just want to cover the pet with color. And no real detail at this stage. All you're really doing is just covering the pet with color. So we're going to start with Mount Vision 450, and the 450 line is an 11 shade of black, and or not black, sorry, gray. So you have 450, which is like the darkest gray. 451, they add a little white. 452, they add a little more white, etc., all the way down the line. I don't have all 11, don't really need it. Instead, I have a couple of art spectrum and one basic white from Great American Portraits. And then I have the standard blacks, ivory black, and another type of lamp black from art spectrum. Both these are non-toxic. I think most of the Mount Vision line is non-toxic as well, so that works out well for us. So let's go start with the top of the cat's head, which is rather light. So we switched paper. Instead of using the usual paper that I use, which is velour, today we're using pastel matte. So if you've never seen pastel matte, this is the brand. So I think it's called Clairefontaine pastel matte. So it's a different type of paper. It's not pure sandy paper like some of these other ones, but as well, it's sort of nice. It doesn't have that sandy, gritty feel to it, but it does have enough texture to where you can get to where you need to be going. So now we're going to switch to 455. And we're going to do some light stuff up here, and we're always going to go with the direction of the fur. So once you get up here, it's going to be lighter there. And then in the detail stage, we're going to go over this and sort of fix it some. But right now, we're just going to get some base coats. And I know you're asking, why don't I just take off the wrapper and go to the side? And that is because what I want to do here is have sort of a hair texture via the pastel. Even though it's a rather large pastel, we can get sort of a hair texture if we go in the direction of the fur. So we're going to go through here, just get this light section knocked out. And again, this is not going to be the detail section. We're not going for excruciating detail at this point. We just want to get some color down and cover up the paper at this point. That's our main goal here. Okay, so that looks good for a light. And then the cat's ear up here, sort of going this way. Yeah. So we have like hair going up this way. And so we're going to get that. Move across there with that. So that looks good. And I know you're like, this doesn't look good at all. Because we just started. I think we've been like 5 minutes. Right. All right, and then we're going to come up here, and we have like a lighter section up here. And we're using Mount Vision 455, which is like the middle of the line gray. And then we're going to come down through here and just get some color in there. Just going to whack it along. Want it goes side to side, it kind of defeats the purpose of going up and down in the first place to mimic the hair direction, right? Like, what are you doing, man? You said go the hair direction. Okay, let's see. So now we come to the ear, and inside the ear we have this pink. So this is going to be a good picture because a lot of you guys will ask me, like, what do you do about black and white pets? I know, Mitch, that you said that pets are like 5 colors max, but what do you do when it's just black and white to make it not look cartoonish? And we're going to answer that today by using a lot of different grays, and then we're going to come back later in the grays and we're just going to like lightly touch it with other colors just to give it like this hue. So if you notice the cat inside of the fur has like a pinkish highlight almost, and so what you're going to do is just drop a little bit of pink into the fur. You're not going to get this and just like mash it down and scrape, but you're just going to drop a little bit of pink into the fur, and that way you get that hint of pink, but it's not in your face, right? So just lightly touch it like here, and we got like pink highlights everywhere, so lightly touch it here and then lightly touch it there. And hopefully my sound is fixed from yesterday. I hooked up something different to make my sound a little better. So this is the base coat stage. So we have this obnoxiously pink right in here, and we're not going to leave it like that. We're going to trim this with a little 453. I wanted 455. We're going to trim this with 455. See, I'm not going to leave it alone. You know, 455 in there. And so now, instead of just in your face pink, oh, did I just make a mark? Like back in 3rd grade. Sorry. All right. Make little marks in here. And then we have a darker gray. So we're going to go with 452. And for this gray up here. And if anyone has a question, how are you determining your numbers, which one goes where, that's called guessing. I have no idea. What I do is I put it down and I pray that it looks all right. Which sometimes that method works out pretty good. All right, so I know I need a darker thing there. And the good thing about pastels and pastel matte, you'll notice the master himself, Mr. Jason Morgan. If you're not subscribed to Jason Morgan's channel, you must go do that immediately. He uses pastel matte all the time. And the reason we switched to that today is because it's important to make really long hair. So look at this cat's like really long prominent whiskers up here. If you try to do that on velour, it's going to look kind of odd. It's not going to work as well. But pastel matte allows you to get so many different layers that you're going to be able to get the whiskers really well. So I mean, the way the light is hitting the whiskers, they really stand out. In fact, I might use liquid acrylic for that. But we're going to see. You're going to join me while I make countless number of mistakes. And I may end up using liquid acrylic for that. All right. Base coat stage. Get that and blend it in. And the next question you're going to ask me is why I'm not using pan pastel for this. Because I don't have all the pan pastel colors. I actually thought about that. And I looked and I do not have the grays that I need. I have like a light gray, but I don't have a dark gray, nor a black, nor a white. I just have a lot of green. I originally bought pan pastel to make the greenery. All right. And so on the outside of the ear, I'm going to go ahead and just drop in this really dark black. This is my favorite, you guys know, Giro Pastel 513. This is pitch black. It is the darkest black, and it's actually labeled as a dark green, oddly. So what we're going to do, we're not going to just get this and like smooch the whole painting with it, but instead we're going to get it and just make some pattern here. Make a little bit of patterns. We have coming through here, and then it blends up into there, and then we're gonna just kind of mash it in. Mash it in. All right. And then, since that area is not all that dark, we're gonna get 450, and we're gonna come back and go a little over that, but like not a lot, and get this area right here where we have this dark area. Unfortunately, that area is really thin, but apparently now it's really thick. So we get this dark area here. And there's still base coating. And I'm planning in advance. We're going to come through and we're going to put some individual hairs in here. And what I want to have, so if you put an individual hair, let's say black, for example, right? And you put that on top of an already black surface, it doesn't look as good. All of a sudden you have this, you know, individual hair you almost can't see. So what you do is you use these grays, and even the darkest gray, you can use that to make a base coat that looks sort of like hair, and then you can come back over it. For example, like here, let's come back over it. So we can come back over this with this color and just make like individual hairs like this. Like that. See, that looks pretty good. But that's just an example, that's not a finished product, but you get the idea. So, here we come back to grays. Wow, that's wrong. That is wrong, wrong, and more wrong. Because this has individual hairs here, and what I want to do is I want to get a color variety in here. And again, we have that pink highlight like that. And then you can come through here and use your tools. So for example, you can use like the pan pastel tool and just come in here and blend it a little bit like that. So like if you come up here and you just blend it just a little bit like this, it'll blend in. Gotta press kind of hard, but still, you can blend the edges together. So now, you have what looks a little bit more like a base coat. You see how that pink just kind of softens? Look at that. That nice soft pink here. Oh yeah. See, now that's a base coat. That is a base coat right there. That's beautiful. And of course I'm using the dirty tool with the green on it. And watch me like touch this and have green everywhere. And then I'm not going to be a happy camper at all. And then you're going to laugh and say, you even noticed the green, but you used it anyway. Because you're too lazy to get up and get a new tool. Alright, so going to go through here and just get this. There, that's a base coat right there. Looks really nice. Alright, so that's our area. That's sort of what we're going to do for the rest of the painting. You can stop watching now. I just taught you everything. Alright, so now we're going to come in with a darker black. So there's no recovering. Like this area down here is just dark. So we're going to get this Art Spectrum. I think this is lamp black. And we're just going to make us some hairs with this. And I know you're asking, why don't I use a pencil? Well, you can't really use a pencil all the time for stuff like this because number one, your hands are just going to hurt. And number two, you're going to use up your whole pencil. And so we're going to use a little bit of a larger pastel for this type of stuff. Because see, you can get like that. Like you can get that. And that's going to be hard to get with a pencil. And so we're going to come all the way down here with this. This is really, really dark down here. And then it kind of fades out right there. Just kind of fades out a little bit right there. All right. And then as we come in through here, we have this pattern of lighter colors. So it's like lighter color, and we come through here, we have a darker color. And then as we approach here, we still have dark, but we have like a gradation towards a lighter color. Okay, that looks good. Now we're just going to come in with our thing, and I think all the green's cleaned off. Let's try it. Yeah, it's mostly cleaned off. It still has a little bit of green, not a lot. We're just going to come in and just see. We're using pan pastels after all. Hopefully this black takes away my green. Alright. See, look at that. Even though we didn't use velour, we still have this nice softness. And look at the picture. Like as you come through here, it has this soft. It like just goes towards soft and soft, and then as it stretches out, the picture's just kind of soft. So you can get this tool, and this is just a pan pastel sponge tool. You can get any sponge tool. You can get a makeup applicator. You can get anything you want. You just want this softness. So you don't want to abruptly stop like that. That's not natural, right? You just want the softness. And then we're going to come back in here with a pastel pencil later and just get it to where it looks really, really nice. Keep it soft, but put individual hairs on the outside. So we have a little more work ahead of us because we're not using velour. However, you can still accomplish what you want. So let's say I have the black pencil. So now I just want to go and just do like this. Little hairs. Individual hairs. Don't have to draw every one, just make a little pattern. So you can still keep that softness, but you have the individual hairs coming out. But this is not the detail stage, I'm just showing you guys a preview. So, but that looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. It's not like photorealistic yet, but again, we're just on the base coat stage. So once we get some lighter gray, and we're going to get a lighter gray and put in like hairs across through here, it's really look good. It's really going to look good. So this is going to take a little more time than the other one, obviously. All right, let's get some white in here. Right here, so this is Art Spectrum, and this is like a cool gray. And you'll notice right in here, and the paper's already light gray, so we don't have much work to get this to where we want it. I'm just going to do a cool gray. This cool gray is just going to cover this area down here. And look, already you have that like that softness already. So we're just doing the base coats. We're just doing the base coats at this point. We're going to come back with a little bit of a darker gray and cover, obviously, this stuff up, which actually would be pretty prudent to get some erasing done. And the white areas. Black areas, you don't much care. But white areas, you probably want to get a little bit of the erasing going. Sorry for the camera shake. Can't really avoid it. Now I have pastels everywhere. Yay. Alright, so now we have this cool gray. And I really like this cool gray for this. It looks so good. You can just get this and just go through here. And then over here, you have like a darker gray because you're kind of trending over here towards this black-white area. So we're going to get our 455. We're going to get our 454. We're going to get something. We're going to put it here. And so this area over here is going to have that like the soft, and it's just going to be waiting for the individual hairs at this point. Yeah, this looks good. This looks real good. Just kind of smooths the edge. Looks real nice. So, get the grays here, and then the grays up here. Get the grays here, kind of thing. Yeah, looks good. All right. So now we're going to come back with our cool gray. It's not uncool, it's a cool gray. And you can, you know, if you want to, you can make little hairs. We're not in the detail stage, but, and you don't want all your hairs to be the same way. You want different directions, right? And then you just smooch it like this, and you have like this nice hair pattern, but you didn't actually do a lot of work with it, right? And you can do this the same way here when you're transitioning. So you just transition like that, and then rub it a little bit, and then you have this nice gray transition of the hairs from one side to the next. So now, get this cool gray. It's cool, man. It's cool gray. We're going to come back out here, and then we're going to come back in here, and that's going to give us that pattern there. And then we have this section that goes like this. And so we're just going to bring out this cool gray into here. And here you can just unleash your inner third grader, right? Whee! Yay! Yay! Let's see. Like that. And this part is bright white. So a funny story, when I was actually in, I'm not sure third grade or not, but I was little, and my aunt was keeping me. And she made the mistake of giving me some paints and a brush and a canvas. Of course, I'm little, so I ignored the canvas and decided to paint the wall. And she comes back in. She was fairly upset. She was like, "Did you paint that wall?" I'm like, "Is that a rhetorical question? I'm the only one here. Of course I painted that wall." So, you're proud of it. You're thinking, she's going to cut the piece of that wall out and take it to the Louvre. I'm going to be famous. But nope, it didn't work out quite that way. All right, I'm going to get this white, put it in here. And this pastel mat, man, this really takes the pastel. This is really nice. So we're going to go through here and just put in some of there. We have the nose somewhere in here. Why didn't I trace the nose? Oh, man. All right, I think the nose is right there. Something like that. All right, so we'll put in the white. Man, it's a lot of, look at this dust with pastel mat. You don't get any dust with the Allure, but pastel mat, we're going to have to take it outside and just shake it out really well to get all this dust off. Let's see. So, and then we're just going to, because this is a soft pastel, it's going to produce more dust than, say, the Mount Vision, for example. So this is our Great American Artworks. You can see their phone number. And this is white. So white. And that is really the only place you have this really, really, really bright white. I'm going to go ahead and extend it out into here. And then we're going to add individual hairs later. But yeah, like that. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay. And the good thing about having light gray as your background is you don't have to do a lot of work in that regard. Okay, so I have more whites here. Let's stick with the cool white for now. That is not cool white at all. It's like a warm white. So we get our, this is titanium white and warm white. So we get our warm white. We're gonna come in here. And we have like a warm section here. And pastel mat, man, that will take layer upon layer upon layer with no problem at all. No problems at all. Alright, I'm just going to get some here. And again, I know you're asking why not take the label off and just do it with the side. It's because I like the individual pattern, hair patterns that I'm getting with this. So it's like, I mean, you're not doing any work at all, hardly. And you're getting some nice hair patterns. Alright, so we have some hair coming down through there. That's going to be mixed. And then the warm kind of tilts out right here. So it looks sort of like hair. Like, not exactly, of course. Yeah, right there, right there. And then we have this grayish, darker gray there. And I'm going to get a 455. Where'd it go? What is this? They look so much alike. Okay, I'm going to get a 455. And just kind of prime this area here with it. And 455, like down here. Like that. And then we're going to come back. And so the bottom section is going to be our cool white again. I know this looks terrible, but this is a base coat stage, so please forgive me. I'm sure the audio is going to be terrible. Audio is going to be like just me whacking the pastel on the paper. Alright, so that's good. That's like a cooler white. That's good. And then we have this cool white. We're just going to bring this down through here. And then that's going to cover this area over here. Alright, and then we have individual. Alright, we're gonna go through what? How bad is this gonna be? It's not too bad. So we're gonna go through and just kind of ease this up a little bit. See, look at that. You thought it was gonna be a disaster. Look, it looks fairly decent. Got this nice cool area at the bottom here. And then once you start getting up top, you get sort of a little warmer. And it's a harsh transition now, of course, but once you kind of blend it a little bit, you get this nice softness, this nice transition. Stay out of that black area because you don't want to just bring that down and totally toast your cool whites. But having the remnants of a little dark on there, you get like this nice pattern. So you have this nice fur. Look, that looks pretty good. Like I didn't hardly do any work. Just went across the pastels. Told you about my childhood stories. I had to take a artistic hiatus after that wall event. Alright, so that was the abrupt end of my childhood artistic career. Alright, so here we go. So we're going to get this. And then come out through here. And then this is going to be, this is really, 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 really dark. I normally don't bring pets all the way down. What I'll do is I'll stop and then kind of fade it out. But in this particular case, I don't want to do that. This is really, really, really dark. And right underneath here, we have like a pattern where it just goes like this. And then it keeps going through here. And then at this point, we're just kind of coming in here and then out, back in a bit, and covering that. Okay, cool. And then we have, you know, that's not going to be straight line. Nothing in nature is a straight line. Wasn't that on a movie? Okay. And then we're going to come in through here. We have this dark area here. And then we have this beautiful transition. This is a beautiful cat. It's a beautiful cat. We have this cat plus another cat, and then we're going to paint one of my old cats, and her name is Angel, and we're going to paint her, and she is a really, really amazing cat. There we go. I promised somebody else a cat after these two cats. So we have 4 cats, and then we have 11 dogs. I'm currently 6 months behind my stuff because I can't paint 24 hours a day. I wish I could, but I can't. Alright. Let's get this art spectrum. Hit this. Gonna get this good color here. Alright, that looks good. Alright, cool. Alright, so now we're going to have more grays. We have like this 451, let's say. 451 is going to be right through here. 451. And then 451 comes up in here and gets near the white, but not quite. Hey, it rhymed. And then we have a definitely over here we have more of a 450. So this is just going to be a darker area coming near the eye. And we're going to put hairs in here. Since we're on pastel mat, we can do all these individual hairs. It's going to be really awesome, guys. When we get to the detail, you're going to be like, that looks really awesome. Right now, of course, you're like, what is this? All right, so now we have like a darker black going up through here. just doing the base coats today. So the base coat stage is where you just want to put some color in the pet and fill up the paper. Not literally fill up the paper tooth, but you want to cover up the natural color of the paper and put some actual color on there. And for this stage you want to use a larger, softer pastel, and you want to just get some base coats, just like if you were doing an acrylic painting. When you do like oil over acrylic, so you just get the acrylic and you just mash it in there, get some acrylic paint in there, and then you come back with your oil paint later. And you do that because the acrylic is going to dry immediately and the oil paint is going to take a week, right? So the big benefit there of doing the acrylic painting and then coming over it with oil later. Let's see, get like a darker area here. So that looks all right. And then we have like this hair coming here. So we're going the direction of the hair at this point. So now we're going to grab this, and this has got white on it. So we have a wider area here. So instead of wiping it off, what I'm doing is I'm using that natural white leftover pigment on the brush, and I'm using that to give me a little lighter tone in these areas. So in other words, instead of wiping it off and then coming back to get a lighter tone, what you can do is you can go into white pigment, not like this, but now you have white. So now you have white pigment on here. Now you can go into these areas up here and have like a lighter area. So just by the nature of having that. So now we're going to go through. I think all the green's off at this point, right? What do you think? And we'll go through here. And see, you can just dig into this black a little bit, and then as you come off of it, you get like a lighter black. So it's kind of nice. That looks weird, like an alien or something. Ugh. The kitty is not from Mars. Let's keep the base coats clean. Keep it clean. All right, then we go around the eye. Yeah, look at that. It's looking good. Tell me that's not looking good. It's looking real nice. I thought it was going to be a disaster. And you were like, what is this guy doing? Then you come up here and you get this coat. Now you just have this. Yeah. And so you have this natural softness. And so now in these gray areas, you can come up here and just get a little of this black into the gray area. And now we're going to go back over that, obviously, with some hairs. And I'll show you guys how to do hairs quickly, because I know the last thing you want to do is paint individual hairs, but there's a way you can do that to where you can do it extremely fast. And what we're going to do is we're going to get a pencil in each hand, and we're going to just machine gun the hairs in. It looks and sounds odd, but it works really, really well. All right, look, this looks decent. We've been, I don't know how long we've been going. How long is the stream going on? Got like this, got like this natural softness. And you just kind of come back in here. Look at that, it looks so good. All right, cool. And we're going to come down here and we're just going to smudge out our black area. And make that look real nice. Yeah, look at that. And again, you can just use a makeup applicator, or you can use pan pastel tools. You can use a little sponge from the kitchen. So you can use whatever you want. You just want something soft that you can just go over and make a nice transition with. All right, cool. And we're going to come through here. We're going to go up here. And now we have this gray area like right in through here. And so instead of painting it gray, we're just going to get the black and just bring it up. And you can also turn your sponge like this and just make marks like this. And it's not hairs, but it looks sort of like a hair, transition. So it's not like a straight line. So look at this. I mean, you're not doing anything and you're already making hairs. And I know some of you guys do colored pencil. If your hand hurts after colored pencil, your hand never hurts like this. Look, I mean, there's literally no stress. You're just going weep, weep, weep. No stress at all. And you can come out here and just make your individual hairs here. And you have like the soft, look at that. It's like the softest hair ever. It's like it's faded out. It looks beautiful. Well, that one doesn't look beautiful, but the rest do. press do, so you don't have to make your individual hairs. Obviously, you don't want to get it and drag it 8 feet out to the end of the page. It's not going to look that good. And if you come out a little too far, you can just kind of touch it up. Not like that, I just ruined it, but there's always erasing. Unlike velour, pastel matte erases really good, which is good because I make a lot of mistakes. I do like to erase because after a few mistakes, your pet starts to look bad. And unfortunately, I'm streaming, so if I make a bunch of mistakes, everyone is going to make fun of me. Alright, we have this. Come in as soft. Nice and soft. Look at that. Just nice and soft. Coming in through here, just dumping dust all over my frickin' thing. Man, pastel matte, man, why do you have so much dust? Oh my god. I like my velour. I really like velour. And if we didn't have these long whiskers, I would be using velour. Alright. I'm not sure why I'm stopping right here. I think that extends out farther with the black. I do believe it extends out farther. Alright, what we got? Let's get ivory black. So we're going to get ivory black and we're just going to come up here. And come up here and then this little kitty, he's got some darker area right there. We're going to come in a little more through here. It's like chalk on the chalkboard. No, fingernails on the chalkboard. Does that just sound like fingernails on a chalkboard? Like everybody turned off the sound. I'm like, you know, I like your stream, man. But the fingernails on the chalkboard is killing me, dude. Like I know, man. How do you think I feel? I'm sitting right here. Alright. We got a darker area. And we come through here, and it's not as dark. It's like lighter. And then we're just gonna hit, and then we get it's like there. Yeah, like that. And then right here we got like a little darker. A little darker through there. And it comes up. So this is dark gray, 450. And the Mount Vision pastel line of 450 is just amazing. I love me some Mount Vision, I can tell you that now. So this, we're going to do 451 because we have like right here, it's not as dark. Yeah, that's good. And then over here, it's not as dark as well. So you kind of have this area here. Yeah, and then because the light source is coming in, we're going to have 452, and the 452 is going to be like right here. So have like this lighter area. So you see this Mount Vision, man, you got like the 450 to 461 line, and then it gets lighter and lighter and lighter, and so you can have this nice graduation from dark to light. So we got 453, 453 comes in through here, and this is just a little bit lighter, because the light is like hitting right here through here. Yeah, looks good. And then under the eye, I'm going to do 453. I'm going to stay with this. I'm going to have good luck with this. Go through here, and then I'm going to come up across through here. Yeah, it's perfect. And underneath that, we're going to go 454, because you have like a little bit lighter here. Yeah, looking good. Cool. And then I'm going to go back to 451 for this intermediate area right here. And always make sure you're going the direction of the hair, right? So like a darker area. It's dark right here, but it's not too dark. So I'm going to mix 450 with 451 a little bit. Go through here. And then right here, that's definitely like 454. I said it's definitely a color, and I picked up a random color and tried to convince you guys. It busted me. All right, that's through here. And then we're going to get 451. Kind of get through there. Yeah, because that's coming down through here, and then you have like this area where you just have some hair here, and we're just going to do 451. And now you have like the dark. Now we're just going to get the dark, and the dark area is like right here. All right, perfect. And this is where those big white whiskers are going to go. So, all right, and you have the dark area across through there. All right, cool. All right. Now we're going to blend this out and get around the eye first. And again, you want to go the direction of the hair, right? Go the direction of the hair. And we want to bring, because this dark is kind of bleeding into the non-dark right here. You can go like right that, like that. Here, and then come up a little bit because you have this hair here. Yeah, it looks good. We're going to brush in the direction that we want the smudge to go, and it's going to be like that. And come through here. Like that. Look at that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Oh, look at that. This looks really good, man. I'm like surprised. I knew I was going to start the stream. It was going to look terrible. Like whenever somebody's watching you. It's like when you're trying to type something and you're like trying to code something, you know, computer programming, trying to code something, and somebody's like watching you code it, and they're like offering you suggestions and you want them to go away. You're like, oh man. But streaming, unless you make a comment, I can't tell what you're thinking. I do have 4 likes. So that's positive reinforcement right there, man. It's positive reinforcement. So you want to brush the black out into the other area. You don't want to brush the light in because but otherwise you're going to ruin the black area. If you touch black in here and you brush something into it, you're going to ruin it. So it's better to brush the direction that you want the highlight to go, or you want the directionality to go. So right here I want this black to fade in a little bit. And then obviously over here we have this highlighted area where the light is hitting, and you want to brush that into this other area because you don't want to ruin your nice highlight over here. Okay, so that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Come in through here, and then have these, like the fur direction across here, and then you have like this long fur stuff like right here, and then right here you have a short fur, look a little short like that. Cool. Okay, so that is our base coats. I'm not sure how long I've been streaming. But we got our base coats done. So now it's a matter of coming in and doing the details. And I'll do that in another stream. I like to separate out the base coats and the not base coats. Because I know a lot of people are like, are you doing the whole thing at once? And is it really, really complex? And I'm trying to convince you guys it's not really that hard, as you can see from this. So you just do base coats for an hour, and you do details and pencil for an hour, and you're done, man. I mean, you can do a lot of good stuff in an hour. So we got everything in. So this has like little hairs here. So you get that white, and you're just going to bring in the dark a little bit, just like that. Like that. That looks nice and soft. Looks cool. Okay. So, I mean, this is a fairly easy pet. So this is how you do the black-white without it looking absolutely terrible. So I'll put my pastels up and take my glove off and see how long I have been streaming. So I'm going to stop streaming. Thank you for joining me. I hope you learned a lot and had fun hanging out with me doing the kitty base coats with a bunch of pastels. Have a great day, guys.